Okay guys, welcome to the channel. So there's something I've been thinking about recently. I've been sitting there trying to analyze what is going wrong with my life. There's something I'm missing. I can smell it in the air. I get whiffs of it occasionally. And I've looked back at my life. I feel like I have lived multiple lives. I feel like I've lived 5 lifetimes I'm 22 years old. And I already feel like I have a lot of life experience for someone my age compared to what most people are doing. I've been to 5 countries. I've solo traveled. I'm the type of guy that can walk through an airport and knows exactly what he's doing. That's the type of guy I am. I go out and I do stuff. Yet I still feel like there is something missing. I still feel like there's a key that I haven't put in the lock of a door. I feel like I've found that key now, and I'm going to put it in the door and unlock it. And this, maybe some of you guys out there are relating to this as well. There's something not quite clicking. And I figured out what it is. I figured out that there's been times in my life where I've made so much progress. Whenever I've given myself credit, whenever I've believed in myself, and this is not about me in particular, guys, I want you to take inspiration from this as well. But whenever I really set my mind to something, I achieve it quicker than I could have ever imagined. Every time I look back, I try and identify the patterns in my life that have led me to making the most progress. And honestly, I can say the most progress I've ever made is when I've cut out the noise and really focused on what I actually wanted. The first time I ever did this was the most dramatic and transformative event that happened. It was when I went to Thailand. I was watching Jack Hopkins at the time, and I took inspiration from him, and I wanted to solo travel to the other side of the world. And at the time I was coming from, I'd say, a darker place. Well, the darkest place I've ever been in, I would say, because I'm now in one of the best places I've ever been in, so I can't really, it doesn't make sense. I was in the darkest place, and that was the first time I really set my mind to something. I really committed. Before that, I would try stuff and I'd fail. I wasn't committed to actually pursuing my life. This time when I went to Thailand, I was committed. I cut out everything. I started saying no. I remember when I went to watch a football match with one of my friends in real life, and he offered me a beer. He offered me alcohol. I don't think I had a lot of money at that time. And I said, no, I'm okay. And he was like, wow, you're actually sticking to it. You're actually doing it. And I thought, yeah, maybe I actually am. And then slowly but surely, things started aligning. And they aligned so quickly that I didn't actually know what was going on. I thought I was going kind of crazy. I didn't understand synchronicity, laws of vibration, energy, all of that kind of woo-woo stuff. I had no idea what was going on. I remember I went on a night out. I didn't really want to go on this night out with an older set of friends. I went on this night out, didn't have a great time. I knew it was just a waste of my time. I actually stormed off on the night out. And I woke up the morning a bit hungover, and I just knew I had to go. I knew I had to take that opportunity. It's one of those moments where you just look back on, and it's I would say, a divine inspiration. One of those moments where you just get a wave of electricity and it hits. And I remember I moved with such fast-paced enthusiasm. I was a man on a mission. I was psychopathically focused. I was sitting there on the plane, and I remember the whole world opened up to me. It was in that moment that everything in the past I forgot about. And I realised you can do anything in this world. And I didn't manage to stick to it. My old habits followed me to Thailand, and I'm not one for living in the past, but if I would have just said no to certain things, Thailand would have been so much more different. It would have been so much greater. But let's not live in the past. Let's take the lessons. I want you guys to take the lessons that I give you as well. I want you guys to take the mindset that I have. Nothing is ever a negative. Everything is a positive, because you can learn lessons from it. So Thailand failed, and then I would go to Spain, Barcelona in Spain. And obviously when you come back from Thailand, and this is the point that I'm getting to later in the video, but I'll just explain this. I went to Spain, I went to Budapest, Hungary, which was a great place. I didn't really enjoy Spain because it was Barcelona. There's a lot of racism there. They really hate foreigners in Barcelona. Okay, they really hate foreigners. it wasn't a welcoming place. Now, incidentally, I'm going back to Marbella, Spain. That's where I've set my next target. Budapest, Hungary, that was fantastic. It's a really classy place with fantastic, classy women. And just a side note, guys, when you get back from going abroad, you realise how actually the women you grew up with, they're not really, I hate to use the term, but actually I don't, they're not really high quality. You start to see, go to Budapest, Hungary, look at how classy the women are. I then went to Australia, then went to Bali most recently, and boy oh boy, Bali, I remember I was standing because there were no seats. I was standing in this club. It's a whole long story. I don't know whether I'll just go into it for you guys. So I thought, fuck it, let's go on a night out. Let's go and see the Bali nightlife. So I dressed up smartly with my shades on, I didn't get a Grab scooter. I didn't get one of them because I thought, well, I'm dressed up nice. Let's go in a taxi. So I got a taxi to the club. I was on the wait list as well. I somehow got on the wait list for this place. I didn't realise what it was. It was a special event. I walked on in and the people treated me like I was some sort of... They called me David Beckham out there. They thought I was a footballer. They thought I was some sort of celebrity and I was just playing along with it. I was just pretending. I was just going along with it, creating my identity of who I want to be and actually living it and being it. And that is the point that I'm getting to. When you get back from travelling abroad, as a lot of people do, a lot of people go abroad, they go travelling, they go chasing their dreams, and they realise that, okay, it's going to take a lot longer and it's actually a lot more difficult. Sure, it works for some people, but a lot of people have to come back. And it is that shift coming back into an old environment where there's a period of time, about 3 days, where you come back from a country and you're like, I'm in my new identity, in my old environment, okay, let's try and make it work. And then slowly but surely you slip into your old identity. All your old thought loops, all your old habits, everything that has happened in the past starts to come back again. And you do feel like you have a split personality because you know how good life can get. Sometimes you forget that, and I forget that a lot of times. But you know how good life can get. You know how you were in other places, but it's just that identity shift. When you are back in your home country, it's fucking hard. It is hard to try and be who you want to be, who you are in a different place. It's a different reality. To try and fit the two together, I have concluded is near impossible. This is why people move abroad, and this is why people change their entire lives when they move abroad. You can be whoever you want to be, and it's so much more easier to do it in a new country, new environments. And you have to stay in the new country and the new environment for an extended period of time for that identity the identity shift to set its ways in your mind. Now, the mistake I kept making is, and I didn't quite realise it, I would go to these places, I'd meet people that I used to be coached by a guy, I met him, I realised I'm actually a lot further ahead than I gave myself credit for. Give me a minute, guys, I kind of forgot what I was saying, that's really weird. It's really weird. Oh yeah, the one mistake, sorry guys, the one mistake that I make and have been making is that when you go to these places, not staying there for long enough, not sacrificing everything, not going hard enough, not being disciplined. Now, when you're in a new country and you're living off maybe credit cards, as a lot of people do, they go out and use credit cards, and you're living off a finite amount of resources, you do have the fear of God in you. You do have that fear where you're not really sure. And what was happening to me is I idolized home so much. I was like, okay, let's go home. This is not going to be the worst thing. Let's go home with a positive attitude. And let's take that positive attitude, rebuild at home, and then go out on and do what I want to do in the world. And that is what I'm doing now. However, the problem with that is you forget about what is possible and you slip into the old identities. The problem with slipping into your old identity is you do feel like a completely different person and you forget what's possible. You forget the love and the happiness and the joy and the peace you felt elsewhere. You forget about the fulfillment. And the hardest thing is coming back and realizing that nothing has changed. I'm a firm believer that 2 weeks abroad equals about 2 months worth of growth. I believe that with my whole heart, because when you're abroad, you see different things, your brain is consistently bombarded with new information, and you have to adapt. The mistake I was making was when I go to these places not being committed. Now I know when I go to Marbella, Spain, that's more going to be a short break, celebrate success of the business and whatever, and then I'm going to go over back to Thailand, Bangkok, where I was happiest. But when you go to these places, you have to actually be prepared to stay there for a long period. This means researching the best places to stay, actually getting a grip of the country. Now here's a little bit of advice that I'll finish off with. There's no use trying to plan your trip to a country from the laptop screen in your bedroom. There's no use. Okay, you can get insights and get advice, but it kind of takes the joy out of it. It kind of takes the experience of going to a new country. That in like trying to plan and control everything, no, that's just not me. Going to a new city, a new place, a new country, and you're like, okay, let's figure it out. We got stuff to do. We have things to work with here. Where's the best restaurant? Okay, instead of searching it up on Google, I'll go outside my bedroom and I'll go into the real world and I'll go into that restaurant. I'll go into that restaurant. That is so much more enjoyable than sitting in your bedroom on a laptop. Okay, so that was the one mistake I've been making, not being committed to my new identity and reverting back to the old identity. And by the way, guys, if you want to join my private community, if you want to join my mindset training, Creator Mind Mastery is open now. We're taking in people. It's the most transformative program that I have created to this day. It's the most transformative program simply because all the information I've got, whether it's from Buddhism, whether it's from the other side of the world, whether it's from whatever, all this information that I've got about rebuilding and reframing this mind, I've put in that course for guys like you who want to come on in. I know online isn't the best place to be. However, online is the second best place. In real life is the best place, but online is how we're going to have to do it. I have big plans for the community as a whole. I want to grow it into men's retreats and things like that. So if you want to get on board, get inside the community. It's more a program at the moment as I'm building up the community, but get on inside, okay? Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.